I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Dynamo, Clash Blaster. You know what? If it works, hey, it works. But we're gonna get straight into. Actually, I'm not. We're not getting straight into it as we're gonna have a DC. So we're gonna get. We're gonna back up a little bit. Kind of tweak a couple things. Make sure the university Wi-Fi is working correctly. Make sure that all the teachers are off the internet for now. So we're gonna get back to them in a second. But yeah, like you said, we're gonna be starting off on zones Mahi Mahi. I like this map mode, especially after the water level drops, mainly because you have a lot of cover to work with. It is very favorable in that aspect to frontliners, like your 52s, like your shots, like your buckets, like your splashes. These very frontline, very in-your-face weapons is very helpful, especially against backliners, right? We might see, I expect a pencil, but like ever since the patch happened, was it like last week? It was last week, right? I don't remember.
Yeah,
it
was a week and a half ago. It was a week. It was like a week and a half ago. I know there was that unscheduled maintenance like 1 week ago, but the patch was not long before that.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if we still see Pencil, because Pencil does provide a lot here, especially setting up on Snipe. So, listen, I'm excited because I love frontliners. I'm a bucket player myself, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see like 6 of them, maybe.
I would be surprised if we see like 6 buckets, but I wouldn't be surprised to see at least 1 or 2, especially with this as zones. A lot of players have been looking at the Dreadringer with its Reef Slider kit as an option to put down a lot of paint on the zone in one fell swoop. But the problem with that is that it isn't necessarily a winning strategy in and of itself. It's effective for at least making a game last a little bit longer and preventing a knockout, but you need a little bit more than that in order to actually turn a game into a win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we're going to see as both of these teams are ready to go. Let's see what they decided to bring out. Maybe, stir the pot a little bit with some very unconventional weapons. We're going to see here, as I believe, yes, that Sleep Dream with a Wellstring and a Dualies. Yes, Wellstring, Dualies, Rapid. Very interesting comp from them. And aside from Vandal Varsity, going with the Ink Brush and the Dreadringer. I love Dreadringer, my favorite weapon in the game. So, it is zones. This is one of the best map modes, but we're going to see if they use that to their advantage here.
Yeah, there is that Dreadringer on the side of Vandal Varsity being brought out by Larcenist here. But now we do see 3, also all 4 of them going down in sequence, with another jump in getting taken out. So Vandal Varsity already off to a rocky start here, as Dualishi Dream of Sleep are going to take that early engagement handily, taking the control of the zone, already down to 60 remaining, in the woods out here, trying to sneak in from the side, looking for a pick in the zone, not able to find one. Chai here on the side of Dualishi Dream of Sleep gets that Ink Jet and is going to really do a lot of work getting a splat and 2 assists here before the special is over, as the zone keeps on ticking down.
Yeah, 20 points remaining for Leaf Sheep here, as Vandal Varsity will go down once again. 3 members of them are going to be left alive. 2 members are going to go down, unfortunately. The bucket will go down as well. So, hey, Leaf Sheep starting off this set very strong with a very, very dominant 100-0 there. And that was like, what, 90-second game? Hey, sometimes that's just zones for you. You kind of get locked down this map sometimes.
Yeah, it's easy to get back close to the zone when you get locked out, but it's also easy for the team doing the lockout to get right into your spawn and really cause problems there. We saw that the players on the side of Vandal Varsity were really trying to make their way into mid, and they were really trying to make plays, but they didn't necessarily have the tools at their disposal to do it. They were going down so fast that I'm not sure how many specials I saw coming out from them, if any at all.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the Jet come out. We saw what does Wellstring have again? Is it Wavebreaker? I think it's Wavebreaker. I'm bad with this. I should know this.
I think I might have seen Tri-Strikes from Ambipotent. and that was while we were seeing Chai and Inkjet, but those strikes didn't really do a whole lot, especially as players went down together. But we are going to be getting right into game 2, tower control on Inkblot Art Academy.
Yeah, they're raring to go. No changes for Leaf Sheep here. They like what they saw. And for Vandal City or Vandal Varsity going over to the Heavy Splatling, another weapon that we haven't seen very often usually because it is outshined by the Heavy Edit, a lot faster of a weapon. But hey, Heavy still has its uses, and we're gonna see if they're able to use that to advantage here as Leaf Sheep going to start off really strong here, getting one member down on Vandal Varsity. We're gonna see the Jet or the Rapid Blaster able to do a lot of chip damage here, kind of poke up at that ledges here as Chai able to get one, able to get two, looking for even more, but Leaf Sheep gonna go 2 members down. The Recycle gonna come out here, gonna cause some damage. Unfortunately, they're gonna go down as well, so Leaf Sheep starting off very strong here. So again, another 2 members down for Vandal Varsity.
Yeah, this is another strong early push here for Leaf Sheep, bringing out those specials already and getting multiple picks with them, really using the tools at their disposal effectively and being able to survive the pressure from the players on Vandal Varsity, being able to catch one of them out of position and bring in multiple players to take them out. Chai here with another Inkjet, getting another splat with it, and buying more time for the rest of the team to move in. Sylvette diving in and looking to hold back that heavy splatling, and then winning another fight against the Dreadringer. All of this is going to just keep the tower moving and keep the momentum up for Leaf Sheep.
I mean, hey, they just kind of doing what they do, and Vandal Varsity, unfortunately, weren't able to stop it. So Leaf Sheep, another very, very dominant game number 2 here. They just got in. They got that first team win, and they just snowballed. They just kept it pushing. They got through that first checkpoint. They got through the second one. They got through the third. So, hey, they're looking really strong here. They're able to get these picks. They were able to just, as a team, just kind of corner Vandal Varsity. They were able to kind of take away the space they had to work with, and they just aggressed, and it worked out very well for them.
Yeah, it did. They had the confidence that they could win the fights, and they had the clarity to be able to identify what the weak points were, especially finding the players in exposed positions that were vulnerable to the weapons that they had, and being able to confirm those splats and get those players down to really move the tower exactly as they wanted to.
Yeah, so if you're Vandal Varsity, you kind of have to deal with this aggression from Leaf Sheep. You've seen what they've done these first 2 games. You know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go for one straight pick and then use that to go for the rest of the team. So if you're them, I think the biggest challenge here is not staying like hip to hip, but like kind of grouping together to not get picked off one by one as we go to game number 3, which is Rainmaker Manta is Splatoon 2 Classic. I think the biggest challenge for Vandal Varsity is, like I said, that aggression from Leaf Sheep. That aggression has been working out so well for them that if they can find a way to like kind of slow the game down, I think that'd be very helpful for them.
Yeah, this is a map mode though that is a little bit more prone to knockout than some other Rainmaker maps, so that's something that Vandal Varsity are going to have to watch out for. They are doing another switch up, especially with Larcenist here off of the Ringer and onto the ZNF's Charger, and Temple Pro making another switch onto the Dapple Dooley's Nouveau, keeping the team in possession of a Reef Slider.
Yeah, we're gonna see here as Leaf Sheep starting off with like it does those other games, able to get that first objective win and kind of go straight for the knockout, straight for the checkpoint there. The Rainmaker able to get 2 members down, 3 members are gonna go down there for a Vandal Varsity. Sylvette there chasing down this Charger, not letting them breathe for any moment there, able to do just that and keep themselves alive, popping a crab on that elbow there and just giving so much space for Leaf Sheep to work with. The strikers can come out, not gonna do a whole lot of there, as we can see Cresto gonna be there along with the Reef Slider, able to at least cause some mayhem there, and Vandal Varsity able to kind of slow it down a little bit, able to get 3 members down of Leaf Sheep. So hey, they still have a fighting chance here.
Yeah, good pick there by Temple Pro on those Dapples to find the route and to take out the Rainmaker by getting all up in their face like the Dapples want to do. But now with this Tacticooler coming out for Leaf Sheep, Mandarin is able to get in there over that wall and help with getting a pick and an assist, as well as taking out Larcenist. That is a wipeout here, and so they have a clear path to the goal. Now they just need to finish their job, but they aren't able to do so. There's a little bit of trouble getting up onto the goal, and so Vandal Varsity stave off defeat for just a little bit longer before Leaf Sheep quickly go ahead and take game 3. Wow, I would say that the paint on the map there really tells the story. There is a single trail out from Leaf Sheep, and everything is on the half that belongs to Vandal Varsity.
Yeah, Leaf Sheep, they're just, like I've been saying these last 2 games, they've just been doing what they do. They've been executing their game plan to almost perfection in a way. They've been picking off members. Because at the very beginning, when they did break through that first checkpoint, you saw them at the Vandal Varsity they were there, right? But then you saw a flank, I believe, from the Dualies, from Sylvette on the street side, were able to come in from that left hand side and just get, I believe, 2 members down at Vandal Varsity. So that was the camel, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, basically. From there, you saw Sylvette just kind of say, they threw caution to the wind, basically, and just went straight into the pit of Vandal Varsity. They got one, they popped the crab, they just gave their team so much space to work with, and it worked out so well for them. So again, Vandal Varsity, their biggest problem is that they're kind of not staggered, they're kind of scattered, right? Every time that they try to come together, they always get picked off, and then they have a lot less resources to work with when they try to push in for themselves.
Yeah, Leaf Sheep bringing the same comp in each game, bringing a pretty similar strategy in each game. They know what they're all about, and they know how to win these games, and so it's been working for them so far, so they just want to close it out here in Game 4 on Clam Blitz. Once again, it looks like they are bringing something very similar, if not the same. Yeah, they are bringing exactly the same thing, with everyone on Vandal Varsity bringing something we have seen before, although not necessarily in this combination.
Yeah, hey, you're like, this is Clan Blitz, this is Scorch Gorge. They want to play very aggressive. They want to be in your face because they have the Dapples, they have double Reef Sider, so they could play kind of like loose and towards the wind. They could be like as aggressive as you see right here. As the one's gonna go in, they're gonna get punished though. So Vandal Varsity, not a good start for them. 2 members are gonna go down here, leaving only the T-Tech and the Dapples remaining as he's Leaf Sheep here. Gonna kind of take over mid here as you see them just painting up as much as they can here, and that will give a lot of space for them to work with.
Yeah, it will. And so with Leaf Sheep already having such control over mid, and as well as controlling the clam economy so well, they don't have any power clams yet, but they are easily able to make one and score it right away. With 3 going down, Temple Row, being the only one left alive here, they aren't quite able to stop the players on Leaf Sheep from scoring another power clam there, and so they will be looking to limit that push to just 49 points, but it's still 49 points more than they would have liked to be scored.
Yeah, but hey, this is a chance for Vandal Varsity to kind of build up the resources to get them. You see right here, they have almost enough for another power clam plus the pity. As you see right there, they're gonna grab it, and they have the opportunity here to really get something going. They do have a cooler at the ready. They do have at least 1 Reef Sider and possibly a Strikes 2 almost at the ready, so they can really cause a lot of damage here. But the question is, can they get in? Because with their very short range comp, they kind of get bullied, like you see here, by this Jet plus the Well String as well. So as quickly as good as it was looking for them very early on, they're going to be pushed back once again. They're going to go in and try to save the ball. Not quite able to do it. Dreadringer just barely misses out on it. And as we enter the last 3 minutes of the game here, hey, Mandarin, they're going to go straight in and go even further, getting a couple more clams and able to break through, get through the penalty point down to 49 points remaining in the game. Chai going to be there as well, going for it, able to get another one in, leaving only Kestrel there, and they're going to get punished as well, possibly, maybe, no, able to keep themselves alive and keep the basket open for even longer. 34 points remaining in the game with more clams to work with as well. 31, 28, possibly 25, as Mandarin has 6 more in reserve. Vandal Varsity just throwing themselves at the win is not quite going to work out, and that will leave 7 points remaining. We're going to see Kestrel still there, Mandarin still there, Sylvet's there with the game sealing clams, and that will do it. Leaf Sheep in a 4-0 sweep, able to take the silver. Vandal Varsity. So very unfortunate for Vandal Varsity there at the end. I think they got a little desperate, and I let them to kind of go in and die and stagger. So that just gave Leaf Sheep the situation that they needed to win the game.
Yeah, this has been a very strong set for Leaf Sheep. Not just a 4-0, that is 4 knockouts and very nearly 4 shutouts altogether. I don't recall if if Vandal Varsity got any points. No, I don't think they scored any points in the Zones game or the Rainmaker game or this Clams game, and they only got 1 point before the tower went to Leaf Sheep in tower control. And so that just goes to show how Leaf Sheep have been able to really make this set theirs in a very convincing way.
I mean, listen, they're just doing what they do. Like, Leaf Sheep, they said, hey, we are going to play our game plan, right? We're going to do what we do. And if Vandal Varsity can't stop us, why change it up? And that's like what they did. Their game plan, right, was get one member and then just go off from there. And hey, I can't fault them. That worked out so well for them that, like you said, Vandal Varsity could barely score any points. That's a very dominant win for Leaf Sheep there.
Yeah, that's a really well done for them in this set here. They have really been able to work together, work very smoothly, and it looks like we are going to see these teams play out the rest of these 7 games, as is tradition, continuing here with Splat Zones on Robo Ramens, but we are going to see a bit of a switch up, with Kestrel handing the Wellstring over to Chai and picking up a pair of Glugadoolies.
Ooh, okay. Is it the Deca? Yeah, Deca. The Deca Glugadoolies is not one that you see very often. Maybe you're gonna see the other one with the wall Booyah Bomb for that more, not backlinery, but that more safe play. But also, they don't even need it, as they're just gonna go straight in. They're gonna hold W. It's gonna work out here as this double dually, very mobile comms, gonna work out very well for them, as Castro and Sylvet are gonna be in the base of Vandal Varsity. Sylvet's gonna go down there. Vandal Varsity gonna go along this right hand side here, able to get one member down, but not quite enough. You see the Tri-Slosher and the T-Tech are going to be there. Both pop their special, not quite able to do a whole lot of damage there. Able to pick up at least one drink there, but they're going to be forced back almost right away here, as Vandal Varsity able to at least neutralize zone for a second there. Larson is going to go in, not quite able to get the cap of the zone, and that will be 3 members delayed white basically for Vandal Varsity. For Vandal Varsity, so Leaf Sheep, hard name to say, are gonna capture the zone very quickly here.
Yeah, they are taking the zone back, not letting Vandal Varsity get anything, even with that Reef Slider that they were using earlier. The strikes come out to try and get something done. Players are diving in on Vandal Varsity, managing to get one trade, but Sylvet is still there with those dualies, and Mandarin as well, able to poke. And the 3 players in the zone able to punish these dives that Vandal Varsity are taking. There just isn't enough time for them to get in, and so Leaf Sheep take yet another game here.
Yeah, these YOLO dives, like you said, from Vandal Varsity just weren't going, or are not able to sustain the holds that they needed. They were able to neutralize zone a couple times there, but when it came to actually getting members in, when it came to actually getting like a couple points on the board, I feel like what happened was they just saw the counter go down, and they kind of panicked, like what happened in the last game. um once those numbers started ticking down, it was like, okay, we have to go, and if you're Leaf Sheep, you just kind of exploited that. You got the kills, you got them staggered, and that's what we just saw.
Yeah, the thing about Robo Ramen's at Splat Zones in particular is that when you see that timer on the other team getting down past, say, 30 or 20 points remaining, there's two ways to get there mainly. You either have to take the flank route on the left side, which is very exposed and very easy for the defending team to see, or you can go in through that choke point, which is also very exposed, and it's a very long, narrow path that is easy for the team holding the zone to keep painted. So that makes it very difficult to put together a retake here on Robo Ramen zones, and that certainly didn't help for Vandal Varsity, but we are going to be getting right into Game 6.
Yeah, both these teams are just raring to go. We're gonna see very interesting switches up from Leaf Sheep here, as Chai going over to the heavy edit, and then Mandarin going over to the Fresh Squiffer? No, Classic Squiffer. My bad. The Classic Squiffer with the bubble. So hey, they like what they're gonna say. Hey, we know what we want to do. Let's try these things out. So maybe it's more experimental comps are gonna work out for them.
Yeah, their method of play has been really working so far, and even if they've been changing things up a little bit, they have still kept it fairly consistent, with Chai playing a mid to long range option as a sort of anchor, Kestrel on those point sensors, whether on Wellstring or Glugadeco, but Kestrel going down there to Ambipotent, who does get taken out themselves, with Leaf Sheep taking the tower, holding onto it. They had that tactical buff, I believe, Chai getting that pick on in the woods, and then the Reef Slider coming in, able to take them out, but still 3 players going down on Vandal Varsity as they do. Make that all 4.
Yeah, all members going down. We're gonna see another one going down, trying to get a little desperate there once again. So Leaf Sheep kind of an open path towards that second checkpoint here. Another one's gonna go down, so no Dreadringer for them as well. Looks like that Heavy is able to get 1, able to get 2 members down. Unfortunately, they're gonna be the last member remaining trying to fight for this tower. They're gonna go down to Chai with the Heavy edit, able to get them down as well. So 3 members of Vandal Varsity are gonna go down once again, and Leaf Sheep again able to quickly make their way towards that final checkpoint, leaving only 1 member remaining. So that will be the end of the push, but not quite yet. Mandarin able to get 1 with a very clutch flick there. So 2 members of Vandal Varsity are going to go down here. So Leaf Sheep still looking very strong here.
Yeah, Vandal Varsity may have stopped that push of the tower and caused it to move a little bit back towards mid, but they have definitely not cleared out the area that Mandarin was controlling. And now, as that goes, they are able to take the tower to the 3rd checkpoint, Leaf Sheep, and with a wipeout no less, they take it all the way to the goal.
Hey, I sound like a broken record at this point, but what is there to say for Leaf Sheep? They doing what they do. They're getting these picks, they're getting these isolated members of Vandal Varsity, and they're working with it. They are just, I mean, they are just doing what they came here to do. They're doing their game plan. They're letting their frontliners kind of do what they do, and it's working out for them. Vandal Varsity, unfortunately, like I said during the game, I feel like they are seeing this number go down. And it's just been it's been, how do I say, it's been kind of hard for them to kind of get out of that mentality, because, you know, numbers, if the team scores more than you lose, right? So I feel like there's still kind of that not disconnect, but kind of that barrier of, hey, it's okay to let them score if that means we can get a much bigger defensive response and translate that into offense. But we're going to see here as we go to game number 7, actually. One it's not seen very often, honestly, but, you know, I'm a fan of it, personally. Marlin Airport on Rainmaker.
Yeah, I am very glad that we have been getting able to see this here on these CCA matches, especially because the teams go ahead and play all 7 games. We get to see how teams choose to approach this, and I think since this is a harder one a little bit to knock out on, I feel like if Vandal Varsity have been having such struggles, I think what they might want to consider is, okay, let's prevent a knockout here. It may be a little bit pessimistic, but if they're able to prevent a knockout here, I would say that that's a sign of something going right for them. And as they are actually able to get the first splat here, with Sylvette going down in that fight as well as in the woods, Larcenist here using that slider to get another pick, and that looks decent for them at the start. Vandal Varsity actually managing to hold their own for a little bit here, although as soon as I say that, that goes the other way, and Leaf Sheep, they take a little moment to get a cooler out and to get the Rainmaker to the checkpoint, but they do manage to get that checkpoint on their first push.
Yeah, and I think what happened was that once that Reef Slider went in, all the members of Vandal Varsity went in with it as well to try to get something going off that, but they did get punished for it really, really quickly here, as Chai's they're going to go in as well, kind of do something with the hammer, not quite able to get any picks there, but caused a lot of distraction for themselves, able to get a pick, or able to get a trade out of it, as well as Leaf Sheep down to 49 points remaining. One member's going to go down, but a wipeout on the side of Leaf Sheep will give Vandal Varsity at least a little bit of breathing room to work with here.
Yeah, and they'll have that opportunity to maybe move in a little bit, try and paint mid. They are still waiting though for Larcenist to get that Dreadringer out into mid, into where the rest of the team are. But in fact, they are running a double Reef Slider game over here with both Larcenist and Temple Row on Reef Slider weapons. So they are going to want to use those to their advantage, maybe use the paint that goes down to leave a path for the Rainmaker if they're able to pick it up, but that would rely on them managing to get there in the first place. Leaf Sheep picking it up once again, moving around where Temple Row is looking at, and able to avoid that Reef Slider as well to move the Rainmaker forward, and now just diving in for that goal. A wipeout goes against Vandal Varsity, and Leaf Sheep turn this into yet another knockout for them.
I mean, hey, at the very beginning, Vandal Varsity did hold their own for a bit there, but I feel like Leaf Sheep, they just said, hey, okay, we're going to keep at it. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep up this aggression, and it worked out for them. So Vandal Varsity, very unfortunate for them there. But hey, what you can say, at least in this final game, that they managed to hold their own for about a solid minute there. Like for, I want to say a minute and a half, they were able to at least keep Leaf Sheep off of their plats. But once they got into their plat, it just kind of felt like, again, number go down, I go forward kind of mentality, kind of held them back there.
Yeah, I would say that they absolutely have a lot to learn from this. This was admittedly a fairly one-sided set, as Leaf Sheep were able to get those GOATS wins in all 7 games and get knockouts in all 7 games. But I would say that Vandal Varsity does have plenty to take away from this. They might need to take a breather and sleep on it overnight. Maybe decide, okay, let's wait until our next practice to look at the footage, see what went wrong for us, see what we can identify, what we can do better next time.
Yeah, I know. You really don't want to go right after, because emotions like, man, we could have done this better, we could have done that better, we could have done so much more. But maybe give it like a day or two, maybe give it a little bit, so you have the time and you have the time away from the game to kind of get yourself back into the mood. But with that, that'll be the end of this set. So you have a little bit of house cleaning that we gotta do. Squidoku, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Blue Sky, where I am squidoku.bsky.social. You can also find me on the Fediverse, where I am Squidoku at splatsville.social. How about you, Topic?
Yeah, you can find me over on mainly on Blue Sky at topical2. You can find me also, I'm a commentator for other orgs such as IPL, IPL, MIT, and Under Pressure. So maybe if you can't get, and if you're not sick of my voice yet, you will be eventually. But with that, we have a couple of I want a little bit of, I won't say addery we gotta do, but there's something important for everyone here. So our first one, the CCA is proud to be partnered with the okay, hopefully I don't butcher this. The Eastern College Athletic Conference for this sixth season. So it is an organization with well over 200 member schools across 3 NCAA divisions. They will host comprehensive esports events, leagues involving over 1,300 teams. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of teams, over 21 titles, and much more. And you can find about your school's chances of being involved. If you want to play, they're going to have Splatoon, so it's going to be great. It's going to be really fun if you want to do that. And also, IPL. IPL is partnering with us as well for Season 6. If y'all don't know what IPL is, it stands for Inkling Performance Labs, and it is an organization dedicated to, producing high streaming Splatoon tournaments. So, your low inks and your sink or swims, those are the two really big ones. I know they have a bunch of other ones that I cannot think off the top of my head, but they will be helping us as well. So they're going to be fantastic to work with. Oh, and SAC, Splatoon Amateur Circuit, that's going to be great if you want to get your team together and just play more Splatoon, a lot more competitive. So with them, we're able to give you more streams and more coverage if you just love Splatoon like I do. If you really want to learn more about this, you can check out on the website that will be in the stream chat. So yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you for those. Thank you for those plugs. The ECAC, fantastic organization. Very, very cool that they chose to partner with the CCA for this season of the CCA competition. And as well, as always, huge shout out to IPL, the Inkling Performance Labs, for all of their work in the competitive Splatoon community out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so with that, that'll be the end for us, but don't go away because we have another matchup coming for you in a little bit. Here we have, UTK Feeders versus the RIT White Prawns, but that will be with Sabrino and Part 2 amazing commentators. I know y'all don't understand. So with that, that'll be it from us. We're gonna go do our midterms, make sure we get those essays handed in time, and we will see you guys in another week for more CCA.